Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Today we are going to Duna, as in again. And for that we are going to abuse those tiny little engines for fun and profit. Why would we do that? Why would we not go for a skipper engine? Well, the answer is simple. One small engine produces 30 newtons of thrust. One skipper engine produces 650 kilonewtons. And thrust to weight ratio of one skipper engine is around 17, while small engine got thrust to weight ratio of around 30. That means that if we can pack enough small engines, we can get more thrust out of the same amount of fuel and more specific impulse. And this is why we are doing it that way. And here is our launch. As you can see, we are going fairly fast. With one little issue, those engines, as there are lots of them, tend to lag the game to hell. I think when I was recording it, the game was running at approximately 10 FPS, or maybe even lower. But as we are dropping them by almost 100 on each stage, it is going to be fine. And we are almost ready for our gravity turn. Let's do it now. Those things are actually working, and working better than the same rocket with skipper engines. As you can see, our ship consists of crew capsule and the lab module. The lab module can be used to increase the amount of science which we are sending via satellite dishes and other interesting things, and increase the amount of science that we are getting from the expedition, but only if the science is sent through radio. To actually work, it requires 2 carbonauts. So in essence, we will be sending 3 carbonauts to Duna. And at this point I realized that because I was kind of in a hurry, I forgot to put 2 more carbonauts in the lab module. So we are not going to revert the launch, we are going to send them in additional vessel. So let's do that. And here is our crew transfer vessel. It's fairly simple, and it also using the abuse of small engines. We're going to get Bill and Bob Kermans into the lab module, and then we're going to start for Duna. And the weird sound you're hearing is the sound of the engines at 4 times normal speed. So here we are, almost in the orbit. We just need to time warp to apoapsis and circularize. After we circularize, we are going to wait until we catch up with the Duna module and perform the rendezvous maneuver as if we were docking, but we are not going to dock because there is no docking clamps. Here we are on our final approach. Let's drop our lateral velocity to 0 and burn directly to the Duna module. It's fairly simple maneuver and basically the same as docking, just without the docking part, so it's even easier. And as we all know, docking is practically nothing. And here is our target. Let's use our RCS fuel to get closer to it. And let's start transferring carbonauts once we reach something like 20 meters. Perfect. First is Bill, and then Bob, or maybe other way around. Nicely done. And now we have to deorbit this module and return MacLeod back to home. So let's get away from the Duna module so that we don't destroy it, and burn retrograde to remove us from the orbit. On this ship we are using the new and advanced parachutes. Basically it's drag and normal parachutes in one. So let's use it now. And as you can see, it's working fairly well. And when the normal parachutes are deployed, there are actually 3 of them. And back to the Duna module. We are already at our transfer window, so all we have to do is create this maneuver node and tweak it a little bit, and then execute it. Nothing heavy or hard or difficult. And here I'm trying to tweak the maneuver node near the Duna, but it doesn't want to comply, and it doesn't matter. We'll fix it along the way without any issues. So let's time warp. First we're going to time warp to the node, then execute it, and then time warp to Duna. The usual stuff. I'm hoping that this mission will be able to get us a lot of science and advance our development even further. For that purpose we have almost every kind of scientific apparatus on board, and most of them we will be able to return home without sending the data and losing the science. So our warp and node are almost done. And as you can see, we are not actually getting the encounter, but that's okay. Let's create this node and tweak our encounter, also using the precise node mod, which gives us much better control and much more flexibility when creating maneuver nodes. Now this is almost perfect. And for some reason our original trajectory doesn't look the same as the projected by the maneuver node, so let's create another maneuver node and do the same thing as we done before. Almost there. Got it. Let's execute it and time warp directly to Duna's spheres of influence. Here we had to use a little bit of our lander stage, but only a tiny bit. It is not going to in any way damage our program or our mission. And we are almost at Duna. And there. So now we're going to create a maneuver node to change our approach, because we want more or less equatorial orbit. and we're going to do some science in the high orbit of Duna. So let's create a maneuver node here, because our EVA destroyed our first report. And this looks amazingly well. So we are going to execute it and go for the error capture. And it is that time where I have to say thank you all for watching. Remember to like, dislike, and comment this video in the section below. Will Jeb, Bill and Bob survive the experience on Duna? Will they be able to return home and bring all the valuable science with them? We shall find out in the next episode. My name is Darlock, and I will see you all later.